What if I told you that by 2025, your grocery store shelves could be empty, power outages could last days, and takeout might just stop existing? It's not sci-fi, it's what experts are warning us about. Stick around, because I'm showing you exactly how to prepare without going broke or becoming a doomsday prepper. Hey everyone, welcome back. So I dove deep into the latest government reports, survival guides, and Reddit threads that made me never want to sleep again. What I found? A lot of it is already happening. Rising blackouts, food shortages, and grocery prices spiking like we're in some kind of dystopian sitcom. In this video, I'm breaking down the 10 survival steps everyone needs to take before 2025 hits, even if you've never thought about emergency prep before. Spoiler, you don't need a bunker. You'll learn how to protect your pantry, keep the lights on without spending thousands, and yes, how to still eat like a human when the grid goes down. Drop a comment with what you've noticed lately. Rising prices, product shortages, longer power outages. Let's see if we're all losing our minds together. All right, let's dive into step 1, building your emergency food stash. And nope, this doesn't mean you need to turn your basement into a Cold War era bunker. You don't have to stockpile MREs or learn how to eat like a Navy SEAL. All we're doing here is making sure you've got enough grub to last a few days if things go sideways. Let's be real, when the power goes out or a storm knocks out the roads, the first thing everyone panics about is food. And honestly, if you're stuck at home with zero snacks, you're going to wish you had thought ahead. So where do you start? Easy. Think about what you already eat. Then pick the stuff that doesn't need refrigeration. Canned beans, peanut butter, oats, pasta, rice, cereal, canned veggies, tuna, trail mix, you name it. Even ramen noodles count. They might not be gourmet, but they're cheap, easy, and hey, they're food. Here's a trick that won't hurt your wallet. Every time you go grocery shopping, just buy one extra item for your emergency stash. That's it. Don't overthink it. Grab an extra can of tomatoes or a second box of mac and cheese. Over time, those extras pile up, and before you know it, you've got a solid little supply without even trying hard. And trust me, when the lights go off and your fridge stops humming, you'll be so glad you didn't skip this step. Because while your neighbor is Googling how to eat without a microwave, you'll be sitting there with a jar of peanut butter and some crackers, feeling like a total survival genius. Also, don't forget drinks. Yeah, water is number one, but think about other things too. Bottled juices, powdered drink mixes, even coffee if that's your thing. Dehydration is bad, but caffeine withdrawal? That's its own kind of apocalypse. Another pro tip, label your stash. Seriously. Otherwise, you'll end up buying more of what you already have, or worse, forgetting where you put it. Keep it simple. A labeled bin, a shelf in your pantry, or even a drawer under the bed works fine. Bottom line, this isn't about living in fear, it's about peace of mind. Knowing you've got something to eat if life gets weird, even for a few days, is a big deal. And the best part, you don't need to spend hundreds or dig through survivalist forums to make it happen. Step 2, water storage made easy. All right, let's move on to step 2, water storage. Now, I know what you're thinking. Water, really? But here's the deal. You can last a few weeks without food, but only about 3 days without water. And if the power goes out or the pipes freeze, guess what? Your tap might not be giving you anything at all. So how much do you really need? The rule of thumb is at least 1 gallon per person per day. That sounds like a lot, but it's not just for drinking, it's for cooking, cleaning, even brushing your teeth. For a family of 4, that's about 12 gallons for just 3 days. Yeah, it adds up fast. But again, don't panic. You don't need to buy those giant plastic jugs from the camping store. Start with what you've got. Empty soda bottles, juice jugs, old milk containers, clean them out, label them clearly, and fill them up with tap water. That's it. It's simple, cheap, and totally doable. Pro tip, if you have kids or pets, double check your numbers. They need water too, and dehydration hits them faster. Also, don't forget about any special needs, like formula, baby food, or medications that require water to take. And here's something most people forget. Replace your stored water every 6 months. Yeah, water doesn't go bad, but it can pick up weird tastes or bacteria over time if not stored right. So mark your calendar, set a reminder, and make it part of your routine. Step 3, power backup without breaking the bank. All right, moving on to step 3, power backup. Yep, we're talking about what happens when the lights go out and your phone dies right when you need it most. Now, I know what you're thinking. Do I need a giant generator taking up half my garage? The good news, no, you don't have to go full prepper mode here. There are tons of simple, affordable ways to keep your devices charged and some light on when the grid goes dark. First things first, grab a few extra batteries, AAA 9V, whatever your gadgets use. Flashlights, radios, even old school game controllers, just toss a pack into your emergency stash every time you buy new ones. It's cheap and seriously helpful when you need it. Next up, a basic power bank. You've probably got one for your phone already. Great. Keep one dedicated to emergencies. Charge it now, stick it in a drawer, and forget about it until you need it. That way, when the power cuts out, you've got juice to spare. For something longer term, look into a small solar charger or hand crank flashlight/radio combo. These are super handy and cost less than dinner for two at most places. Some even charge your phone, play an AM/FM radio, and have a built-in flashlight, all in one little device. And if you really want to level up without spending much, get a battery-powered lantern instead of candles. They last longer, they're safer, and you won't accidentally burn down your house trying to find your phone in the dark. Oh, and here's a pro tip. Unplug everything when the power goes out. Not only does it protect your electronics from surges, but it also makes sure you don't waste energy on phantom loads when you're off the grid. The key here is to be ready without going broke. You don't need to power your whole house. You just need enough to stay safe, connected, and sane for a few days. Step 4. First aid and medicine essentials. All right, step 4 is all about your health, because when life gets messy, you don't want to be Googling how to treat a cut without bandages at 2 a.m. with only a flickering flashlight and pure regret. Let's start with the basics. Every home should have a first aid kit. And no, I don't mean one that looks like it came out of a trauma center. You just need something simple. A small box with bandages, gauze pads, adhesive tape, antibiotic ointment, pain relievers, antiseptic wipes, tweezers, and maybe some burn cream too. If you've got kids, pets, or anyone with allergies in the house, toss in an EpiPen if needed, inhalers, or any other emergency meds you might rely on. Don't forget the motion sickness tablets either. You never know when you'll be stuck in a car for hours during an evacuation. Here's something most people overlook. Keep a list of everyone's medications, dosages, and medical conditions. Store a printed copy in your first aid kit and save a digital version on your phone. If things get serious and someone else has to help, this little list could be a total lifesaver. Also, think about personal needs. If you wear glasses or contacts, keep a spare pair handy. If you use hearing aids, stock up on extra batteries. These things are easy to forget until you really need them. Oh, and don't skip the painkillers. Trust me, headaches, toothaches, or cramps, don't care if there's a blackout happening. Having a bottle of ibuprofen or acetaminophen tucked away makes a world of difference. Pro tip, check your kit twice a year. Replace expired meds, restock used items, and make sure everything's still in good shape. It's like changing the batteries in your smoke detector, easy to ignore until you really wish you hadn't. The goal here isn't to turn your bathroom cabinet into a mini hospital. It's just to be ready for the little stuff so you don't end up panicking over a scrape or a sudden asthma flare-up when help is nowhere near. So next time you're restocking your regular meds, grab a few extra bandages or allergy pills for your emergency stash. Your future self will thank you, especially when the pharmacy is closed and the roads are blocked. Step 5, cash is king, why you need physical money. All right, step 5 is something most people totally forget about. Cash. Yeah, I know. In 2025, we're all using apps, digital wallets, and biometric payments like we're living in a sci-fi movie. But here's the thing. When the power goes out or your phone dies, that fancy card in your pocket, it becomes useless. Think about it. Have you ever tried to buy anything during a blackout? ATMs don't work. Credit card machines are dead. Even vending machines won't take your chip if there's no power. That's when having actual paper money becomes your secret weapon. So how much should you keep on hand? A good rule of thumb is to stash away at least $100 to $200 in small bills. Keep it somewhere safe but easy to grab, like a drawer, a shoebox, or even tucked into your emergency bag. You don't need a vault, just a little backup plan. And don't worry, you don't have to go full Gollum and hoard gold coins under your mattress. Just have enough to cover essentials, snacks, gas, batteries, maybe even a last-minute coffee if society collapses and you still need your caffeine fix. Also, think about where you keep your cash. Don't store it in your wallet like normal. That way, if you evacuate fast, you might leave it behind. Instead, spread it out a bit, maybe one stash at home, another in your car, and if you're feeling extra prepared, one in your go bag. Step 6, know your local shelters and evacuation routes. All right, step 6 is something most people don't even think about until they really need it. Knowing where to go if you have to leave your home fast. See, emergencies don't always give you time to Google nearest shelter or plan the best route out of town. Floods, wildfires, blackouts, or even a gas leak could mean you've got minutes to grab what you can and go. So here's the deal. Start by finding out where the closest emergency shelters are in your area. These could be schools, community centers, churches, or official Red Cross locations. Most cities publish this info online or through local emergency management websites. Don't wait for a crisis to hit before you start clicking around. Also, map out a few different ways to get out of your neighborhood. Main roads might get blocked, flooded, or jammed with traffic during an evacuation, so figure out side streets, alternate highways, or even bike paths if you're on foot. The more familiar you are with your surroundings, the easier it'll be to move fast when needed. And hey, don't just look at the routes, practice them. Take a drive, walk, or ride through them once in a while. It helps you remember where you're going when panic sets in and your brain short circuits. Here's a pro tip. Talk to your family or roommates about the plan. Make sure everyone knows where to meet up if you get separated. Pick a spot nearby, like a park, a neighbor's house, or a local store, and agree on how you'll reconnect if phones go dead. Step 7. Stay connected without Wi-Fi. Think old school. All right, step 7 is all about staying in the loop when the internet's down, the grid's out, and your phone's blinking no service like it's giving up on life. Let's face it, most of us rely way too much on our phones to stay connected. But during an emergency, that little screen might not be much help. So it's time to get creative and think like we did before everyone had Wi-Fi in their toaster. First up, consider getting a basic battery-powered or hand crank radio. These old-school tools can pick up emergency broadcasts, weather alerts, and official updates even when everything else is dead. Some models even charge your phone through USB. How's that for a throwback with upgrades? Also, don't forget about printed phone numbers. Yeah, like from the Stone Age. Keep a list of important contacts, family, neighbors, local emergency services, and stick it in your emergency bag or fridge. If your phone dies, at least you'll still be able to borrow someone else's landline or use a payphone if one still exists near you. Here's something most people skip: setting up a check-in contact. Pick one person outside your area, maybe a cousin 2 states away or a friend who lives farther out. If communication gets spotty, everyone in your group calls or texts that one person to let them know they're safe. It's a simple trick that cuts down on panic and keeps everyone updated without clogging the network. And hey, teach the kids how to write a note. Seriously, in a world where thumbs are used more for typing than holding pens, knowing how to leave a message behind could actually save someone's life. Oh, and don't sleep on neighborhood networks. Talk to the people around you. Know who has a generator, who's got extra water, or who knows how to fix just about anything. Building those connections now makes things way easier later. The point isn't to ditch modern tech, it's just to have a backup plan when tech decides to take a nap during the worst possible time. Step 8. Keep a go bag ready, even if you hate packing. All right, step 8 is about something most of us avoid, like laundry Sunday, packing a bag. But this isn't for vacation, this is your go bag, also known as your grab and run kit. And trust me, when things hit the fan, you'll wish you had one ready instead of trying to stuff socks, snacks, and your toothbrush into a reusable grocery bag. So what's in a go bag? Think of it as your survival backpack. You don't need to pack like you're hiking the Appalachian Trail, but you do want the essentials to get you through at least 24 to 72 hours if you have to leave home fast. Start with the basics: water, food, flashlight, batteries, phone charger, first aid kit, medications, and a whistle. Yeah, a whistle. Trust me, it's way better than yelling when you're stuck somewhere and someone needs to find you. Then add a few comfort items: a blanket or poncho, a change of clothes, sturdy shoes, hand sanitizer, wipes, and yes, even toilet paper. These little things make a big difference when you're stuck outside your house for hours or days. Also, toss in some cash. Yep, we talked about that earlier, because if you evacuate and all you've got is a credit card that doesn't work without power, you're out of luck. Don't forget ID, insurance cards, copies of important documents, and maybe even a small notebook and pen. These might not seem urgent now, but during an emergency they can help you prove who you are, where you live, or what you're entitled to. Pro tip: keep your go bag packed and in an easy-to-reach spot, by the door, under the bed, near your emergency stash, anywhere you can grab it fast. Don't hide it so well that you forget where it is until it's too late. Step: learn basic cooking without electricity. All right, step 9 is all about one thing we all care about: eating. But here's the twist. What if your stove doesn't work and your microwave's just a fancy paperweight? No power means no oven, no electric stove, and definitely no air fryer magic. So, unless you're cool with cold cereal for dinner every night, it's time to learn how to cook without electricity. Now, don't worry, you don't need to live like you're on a survival show. You just need a few simple tools and some basic skills so you can still make something hot and edible when the grid goes dark. Start with what you already have. Got a gas grill? Great! Use that like an outdoor stove. Charcoal grill works too, but just make sure you're not doing it inside. Carbon monoxide poisoning is not the way to go. If you've got a camp stove or even a small butane burner, toss it in your emergency stash. They run on fuel canisters, light up fast, and can boil water or cook rice in minutes. Bonus points if you already know how to use it. And hey, if you're really low key about this, even a candle can do more than set the mood. With the right pot, a small metal one, you can melt butter, warm up canned food, or even cook eggs if you're patient. Step 10, practice your plan. Because panic doesn't cook dinner. All right, we're at step 10, the final piece of the puzzle, and honestly, this one ties everything together. Because what good is having food, water, cash, and a go bag if you've never actually used them? Think of it like this. You wouldn't buy a fire extinguisher and then leave it sealed on the wall until there's smoke everywhere. Same goes for your emergency plan. It needs to be tested. You need to know how it works before you have to use it. So start small. Try using your camping stove. Open a can without electricity. Practice packing your go bag in under 2 minutes. Walk through your evacuation route. Do a mini drill with your family or roommates, just like fire drills at school. But for grown-up life, you'll probably find things you missed. Maybe your flashlight batteries are dead, or your canned food opener is missing, or your neighbor has a better idea you hadn't thought of. That's the whole point, finding the gaps now, not during chaos. Also, talk to your people. Make sure everyone knows the plan. Kids should know where to go, how to reach someone, and what to grab if they have time. Roommates should understand their role too, even if it's just grabbing the snacks and the map. And don't forget about pets. Have a leash ready. Keep extra food and meds for them too. Test how fast you can get them out the door and into the car or safe zone. Here's a pro tip. Set a reminder every few months to do a quick emergency check. Recharge batteries, rotate food, test your radio, walk your routes. It keeps everything fresh in your mind and make sure nothing expires quietly in the back of a drawer. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you never miss a new video. Because trust me, there's more where this came from. Thanks again for being here. Stay smart, stay ready, and I'll see you in the next one.